24-2018, and I'll call the regular school board meeting of the Charles City Community School District to order with roll call vote, please.
Maycumber.
Here.
Walker.
Here.
Dyke.
Here.
Bryant. Here. Mack. Absent. Tilton.
Here.
Director Freund, would you remind us of our mission statement?
Our mission is to engage, inspire, and empower students and staff in order to maximize learning.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3 is to approve the agenda. Do we have any revisions or changes?
We have one revision tonight at the board table. I'm going to table until next week. I realize you guys have done all the at the board table scenarios already, and so I'm going to have Harry craft a new one that works for next time.
Might have been a good test, but
Oh, you never want to waste your time. So
agenda item number 4 is the welcome visitors and public comment.
I move
Oh, I'm sorry.
to approve the agenda and delete the at the board table.
second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Now we'll move on to agenda item number 4, welcome visitors and offer time for public comment. Seeing that there's no public comment, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, comments by board members and superintendent.
Well, I'll begin tonight. I'd like to outline my comments by our board superintendent goals. So under board superintendent goal 1 of professional learning, proud to announce that Director Mack is gone, but he announced to me that he did finish his at the board table credits. So we are aligned as a board right now, and congratulations to you guys. That's well before me, but thank you for your hard work on that. In addition, continue to do my around the community meetings and in the weekly update, making a lot of business contacts externally, and continue to make the rounds internally of all of our staff members, which will take us a little bit of time, but I tend to meet with 2 or 3 staff members every day and just do my one-on-one get to know yous. And then finally met with the NIAC President Steve Schultz for about 4 hours today. We just did some brainstorming and dreaming about future partnerships that we can do, so that was an exciting time. Under board goal 2 of culture and climate, really focused on, if you check out in the weekly update, all the beautification things we're doing, and congrats to our directors, all the hard work they're doing getting stuff ready by homecoming, but you'll see a lot of splash of Charles City color on our doors. A new sign is going up at the high school entrance, which we're really excited about. It's actually at the transportation center. We'll get that up. There might have been a guy out spraying some weeds on Sunday, so that's exciting. So we're in good shape. My wife wasn't very happy about that, but it's okay. And so I just feel like we're making some great progress in terms of beautification. Finally, in board goal 3, superintendent goal 3 of facilities and infrastructure, we're finishing up the concrete pouring over at Lincoln, getting the basketball area in shape, and they continue to get ready to try to get the basketball courts poured at the middle school, although weather has not been our favor. So some of our contractors have been a little bit behind, but we will get the summer to-do list done from last summer, even if it takes into next summer, but we will get it done.
Excellent, thank you. Anyone else?
It's homecoming week, and it's always exciting to see the kids and how into it they get. I know my kindergartner, fifth grader already, day 1, been come home really excited, looking forward to day 2. So it's just a fun week, and I hope they all enjoy it.
Excellent, I agree. Agenda item number 6 is a legendary Teacher Day resolution. In November, we celebrated all of our staff as part of the American Education Week. Legendary Teacher Day has been set forth for Thursday, September 27th, to recognize the contributions that a specific teacher currently teaching is now or retired made in your life. Whereas the Charles City Community School District Board of Education believes that we all had special teachers that made a significant difference in our lives, and whereas the Charles City Community School District Board of Education recognizes these teachers, demonstrated unique skills allowing them to perform their deep content knowledge into life-changing student learning, and whereas the Charles City Community School District Board of Education highly values the caring family culture created by those teachers. And whereas the Charles City Community School District Board of Education understands that we often do not fully understand and recognize the profound influence teachers have on our future until we have lived our future. And whereas the Charles City Community School District Board of Education realize the importance of taking time to fully recognize the legendary teachers in our lives. Therefore, be it resolved that the Charles City Community School District Board of Education does hereby affirm its support for Thursday, September 27th, as Legendary Teacher Day. We encourage our entire community to take time on this day and contact a legendary teacher in your life and express your gratitude for the difference they made in your life. When I read this, I had to get online and look to see where my legendary teacher was. This was awesome. I graduated from Washington School in Cedar Rapids, and my legendary teacher was Mr. Pink. And of course, he was my art teacher. And knowing that I live my life as an artist, it's what I make my money as, but I never went to college for that. I've taken what I learned in high school, and is what had propelled me into my career, and what has led me to where I am today. Any other comments? Moving on to agenda item number 7, use of flexible funds. This is a public hearing. This is the time when anybody may speak to the board in support or against resolutions to expand funds from the district flexible funding. These funds in the amount of $27,430 were expended and unobligated from homeschool assistance programs. Written comments also will be considered during this hearing.
There were no written
No
comments.
written comments, no public comments. Moving on to agenda item 8, flexibility fund resolution.
I move to approve the flexibility funds resolution as recommended, allowing the use of flexibility funds for signage and campus beautification and a copier for the high school in the amount of $27,430.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Agenda item, let's get to 9, agenda item number 10, listening posts. Superintendent Fisher leads a discussion moving board meetings forward, scheduling listening posts.
As you guys had seen, we had moved a couple of our board meetings throughout the year to make sure that we hit every one of our buildings. You'll notice we did move the board meeting at Lincoln to the first meeting in November to give some time. We are doing some beautification inside the campus, so we wanted to be able to take the board on a tour and see everything we're doing. And the team wanted a little bit of extra time to make sure that they could finish that on time as well. So we didn't want to rush that either. So
We may have to raise the expectations though.
we do. So we're really going to hopefully knock it out of the park. And then into the spring, we'll be at the high school and then also Washington as well. We are also working with our Director of Communications and Community Engagement, have set up some suggested school board listening posts, and our suggestions are Saturday, October 20th, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We are still working on, that's a TBD location as we work out where that could be best fit. And then a weekday in January 2019, the time to be announced, but we're working to find an area industry. We're working with some of our area industry leaders. We just couldn't get that set before now. And then finally, Saturday, April 27th, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and we're going to do the McDonald's on Allison Street.
Any comments, questions?
And we've been marginally successful with these in the past, here and there attendance, but I appreciate that we're going to continue to try. I'd really like to make the effort. Give the opportunity, whether it's taken or not is another story, but to give the opportunity is important in my opinion.
I feel our most attended one was probably High V,
The first one.
one that we did at High V, and I know it had a lot to do with timing. You know, we're going to the people, so
Yep.
so if we can definitely look for times when we know the cars are parked in the parking lot, and we show up, so maybe we don't announce where we're going, maybe we just say we're gonna go someplace, we drive around, and when we find out the most cars, and that's where we show up. But just,
Well, in addition,
We'll have to post it.
I
we
will
can post
make,
the meeting, but where the location is, you
Oh,
can find my car.
I'll make a note on October 20th, because I looked at the calendar before the meeting tonight. That is the same Saturday as Witch Fest. So just so we are aware of that, that's going to be going on downtown.
You have a booth?
There will be a lot of traffic down there, so.
Good.
Just
What time of the day does that occur?
It starts at
It
9
starts at,
a.m.
I believe it starts at 9 a.m. Yeah, that's when the chamber opens and everybody goes through.
There'll be a whole
Big event.
line of those
Yes.
ladies in front of the chamber.
I usually help hand out the bags.
Must
so.
be why I don't want to be around.
In addition, in our second board meeting in November, we have that tentatively scheduled for Floyd as well as we've done in the past. We have to make sure we can secure the community center, but we do have that tentatively scheduled. We're looking at a board meeting at Colwell as well. However, their city council meetings hit at the exact same time as our board meetings, so same time and dates on the Mondays. We're looking at, maybe they've been willing to do a special session or a special session with us too, but we'll talk about that in the spring. But we're doing our best to try to make that happen as well.
We'll move on to agenda item 11, policy 210.2, regular meetings. And we're looking at changing the starting time of our regular meetings to 6:15. Is there any discussion? Questions?
Is there any reason why we don't keep it either at the top or bottom of an hour?
I don't want to go to 7.
No, I.
No, but 6:30?
I don't mind 6:15.
I don't
just-
mind 6:15.
I just think it's an odd time.
Well, I had suggested 6:13, so if you want something longer.
Well, now, you told me you
6:17,
suggested
I
6:17, and I was gonna say 6:13.
So 6:15 is a much,
I think 6:15 would be.
I think 6:15, I mean, that works for me, I think it works well for, I think Josh has said that.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of policy 210.2, regular meetings, revising the start time to 6:15 PM and waiving the second reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the first reading of policy 210-2, regular meeting, revising the start time to 6:15 and waiving the second reading. Is there any more discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Moving on to agenda item 12, Carrie Lane lease. We relocated Carrie Lane, it's been 2 years ago now, to the 1970 edition middle school. I know the church has felt they really liked having them. And I think I don't know, I've been contacted numerous times, I don't know about the rest of the board members, but have been contacted and asked, if there's anything they can do to bring that group back in. They really liked having those kids and interacting with those kids.
In our work of being a distributed leadership organization, I've been working with both our Iowa Big North leadership and our Cary Lane leadership with Don Betts. Also anticipation as we work on finding a repurpose for our North Grand facility. And as I talked to Don Betts and also to students, they really talked about that the current location was less than desirable. There's not a lot of windows, not a lot of light. And they really enjoyed being at the church. It was a very light, bright place, and then a great community partnership with working with some of the church congregation memberships. It's just been a win-win. And so the recommendation from the team with Don Betts and working with Dick Herbertsmeyer with First Congregational Church was to make this a possibility pending your approval. Their Board of Governors approved it about two weeks ago and said they approved it. $5,000 is really cost. They did a rough estimate of what their utilities were, because they didn't want to make any money. They just wanted to cover it from cost. They said that roughly they'd estimated it was $3,000 a year for utilities. However, being good stewards, I would like to go above that to make sure if it's a really rough winter, things like that. They are also taking care of, there's a few renovations, a door needs to be fixed, a sink that needs fixed. They're willing to buy all the supplies for that if we just provide the labor from either our kids or our facilities and operations. So it was very much a win-win. They've even supported it, and we've been working with communications and getting a sign erected. If and when the board approves this, we'd be happy to put a sign that says this is our Cary High School program, Cary Lane High School program. And so we're really proud that they can have their own true identity. And so, and I know Don will tell you early on he wasn't a real big fan of the church, and now he's done a complete 180 and goes, this is our home. So that's why it's our recommendation right now to approve that lease moving forward.
The only problem I have with going back there is that according to the lease agreement, we're on the second floor and there's no elevator. And then it makes a public school classroom area completely in a non-accessible facility.
That was a concern that I had as well, so I appreciate it from Director Dyke bringing that to our attention. We did look at that, and obviously there's no elevator. However, there are ground floor rooms available, so if and when we had to make accommodations for a student with that need, we would convert the classrooms in the lower level to make sure that those needs are met. Still not an ideal situation, however, it would at least meet our moral and ethical obligations of meeting the needs of our students.
And then when they have their public meetings, or they invite their, I can't remember what it's called now. They have a group of people that advises them or goes to, and that would be on the first floor?
Yep, and
for those functions?
I have shared that with Don Betts that moving forward, if we have public functions or different things or open houses, that we either do at the first floor, utilize other areas of the church, or we have to have that at a different site. But we want to make sure we're accommodating all of our members of the public as well.
I know in the past I had attended Carrie Lanning functions and invited to be a guest there when they were at the church, and everything that I was invited to was held there in their dining area just outside of the chapel.
Okay.
So it was, they did instantly, I think they knew probably my old knees wouldn't take the stairs either, so they've done well at that. So this does have two benefits to it. Not only do we take then this program and put it back where maybe they felt more effective or more at ease, more efficient, and it also gets our building ready to be sold.
Absolutely, it's a win-win situation. Also, in anticipation as we move towards a repurposing and sale of our North Grant facility, in the future when that happens, we don't want to put on our operations crew that they have to move everything all at once. So it's also being empathetic to our operations facilities people as we can phase some of those pieces in. And then in the meantime, now we would have some additional space in the former music rooms and areas that we can use for offices and storage. So actually it's a win-win for us.
Discussion.
I just want to say that I'm really pleased to see that this is moving forward, especially as quickly as it is to the former Turk Museum. Just getting that program back to a nice place, a place where they feel comfortable. I toured the church, it's probably been about a month ago now, and was really happy to see this space, and then also just to hear some of the stories about students before who had become friends with some of the church members, and it's just a good environment for them to be in, and adults who cared about them, who maybe weren't their teachers or had to, in a sense, just other positive role models to be around. So I'm pleased to see that this is.
It's a great generation gap bridging.
Yeah.
Because that church does have a large elderly parent congregation, and you have these younger children, and there's a lot of, I think, mothering and grandparenting and that adoptive grandparents are there.
The congregation will tell you too, and we're hearing it from Dick Herberschmeyer, it changed views, it changed paradigms, it shifted people that you might look at somebody and say, oh, and have a stereotypical view both ways. Our kids might say, oh, this is what I feel about senior citizens, and our senior citizens might say, oh, this is what I heard about teenagers, and so it really bonded our community. So I really look forward to that partnership again.
Any more discussion?
Motion to approve the lease of facilities agreement with the First Congregational Society of Floyd County effective October 2018 through July 31st, 2019 for use of facility space.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve the lease of the facilities agreement with the First Congregational Society of Floyd County effective October 2018 through July 31st, 2019 for use of facility space. Have any more questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Agenda item 13, 2017-18 LEAP allowable cost. Do you have any comments on this? Terry?
I'll defer to Terry.
These, the state allows us to request allowable growth for excess limited English proficiency costs each year. And so this is action we take every year. It doesn't mean we have to levy for it, but it does give us the allowable growth that we can use in our unspent balance calculation.
I move to request modified supplemental state aid in the amount of $33,207.84 for the fiscal year 2018 excess LEP costs.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to request modified supplemental state aid in the amount of $33,207.84 for the fiscal year 2018 excess leave costs. Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none, I'll ask all those in favor.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Agenda item 14, Human Resource Association membership.
I know it seems odd that I put an action item for $495, but I did this very symbolically because I wanted the board to know what we're doing in terms of reform and revolution of our human resources practices. I've actually added a new position in the school district. Don't worry, it's cost neutral, but there's a new title called Director of Human Resources, Director of Talent, and I put that in my portfolio. It's something I'm doing. It's a very intentional part of my job. By January 1st, we're rolling out to our senior leadership team new expectations and a handbook on how we're going to use evidence-based hiring practices. And we're going to really make sure that we are finding the best fits for our community and our school district around core mission, vision, and values, and making sure that we're doing a great job of pipelining talent, finding great talent in the area and getting them into our school district. That includes building partnerships with student teaching areas as well, but also with our classified staff and with our administrators and our directors and with our custodians and bus drivers. And we're doing that at high levels. We're modeling this after some of the best districts in the state that are being affected with this, including Des Moines Public, who has really been revolutionary in some of this work. And they have what's called the American Association of School Personnel Association, and the piece with that is usually it's reserved the people that typically join our districts that have full-time HR professionals, which is great. We don't have that, well, kind of, with me, but there's no reason that we wouldn't still join that because there's tons of benefits in terms of training, webinars, and things we can do. They have conferences that we can go to. They can also provide additional training to our administrators and to Tricia Ballman, who does a lot of our HR work. So I'm going to have very high expectations, and we have made huge strides in the past few years in the district in terms of hiring and the things we're doing, and I'm going to push our district even harder and farther in terms of what we do with that, because we only want the absolute most effective, best people for our children, and so I wanted to have this symbolic piece of we're moving towards that, and this is the work we find important.
Comments or questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the recommendation of the joining the American Association of School Personnel Administrators for the annual fee of $495.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the recommendation of the joining of the American Association of School Personnel Administrators for an annual fee of $495. Any additional comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Agenda item 15, consideration of consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items as listed below. Any other comments? All those in favor? All those
Aye.
opposed? Consent agenda passes 4-0. Correspondence or miscellaneous? Anything? Other than, I wanted to make a comment. We all got an email from ISAB. They're going to self-recording this coming year. So for your Better Boardsmanship Award, if you log on to the ISAB website, you will go in there and it'll show everything, and then you click your boxes and you can self-record. Also, I see there was an email saying for convention that the program is online. There's an app to look at all the classes.
The fall conference for our district meeting is in Mason City on October 3rd. Next week.
Important upcoming dates.
The big one will be SIAC will be this week, which will hold in high school. So at our SIAC meeting, we'll be discussing food service, which we're mandated to discuss food service, and then also we'll be discussing our core values, making sure that our constituents are aware of that. And then again, it's homecoming, so more dates than I can possibly talk about right now, but make sure you check that out. We had a great football game on Friday night against Waterloo East, and so we're looking forward to taking that momentum with Decorah. And the tailgate, the brunch, the parade, lots of great things going on this week. So if you have a chance to get out in the buildings, feel free to stop by.
Thank you. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting.